Ladies and gentlemen, joining us again is a friend of the show, a man that took the world by storm with his incredible brain. He had 32 wins on Jeopardy just here recently until Monday Night loss. Alex Trebek called him the most electric human he's ever seen in his entire life. Off the record. Ladies and gentlemen, Vegas Golden Knights fan, professional sports gambler, trivial wizard, Jeopardy, James Holzhauer. Just last week, you did the greatest billionaire walk I've ever seen in my life in honor of my fake punt dance. Now you say that you have Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, the bad guy.
Yeah, I think this one was when you pinned someone inside the 5-yard line or something. You did a little, wave to the crowd, and then... I'm out of frame. Let me do this again.
Monday night, James. The world watched the ending of an era, the Jeopardy James era on Jeopardy. You knew it was coming, and when you talked to us, I got no hint of that at all. Has the Jeopardy people thanked you for your incredible ability to not give away the story before whoever leaked the footage?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure that people listen to the Pat McAfee show, but if they do, they probably gave me a little salute for that.
Well, if the Jeopardy people should listen, they should. You have obviously known for a while now that was coming. Was it hard not to give that away in interviews with us or anything like that?
I think in general the whole time is, unless I got tripped up on something, I thought of it as a fun surprise to spring on everyone, just exactly how long it's going to go. Too bad the New York Post decided they needed to leak the results a day early, but what can you do?
Is that who it was? It was the New York Post? Because the Jeopardy people said something along the lines, they used the word very, very, very appropriate action towards the person that they think leaked it. Do you have any idea, or are you a part of those discussions about how pissed off Jeopardy was?
No, not really, but, I think that what happened is there were some videos circulating like as early as Friday night on the internet, but there were just, 5 people sharing it on Twitter. But then, once the mainstream media source picked up on it, everyone was going to find out.
Oh, my God. When you look back on your time on Jeopardy, how do you view it? As a positive one, as one that you're happy that happened, or one that you're happy that's over?
Gosh, it would be pretty snarky to say it was not a good experience overall. No, I knew it had to end sometime, and I think if it had to end, it ended about as well as it could have. I didn't beat myself with a silly mistake. I just lost to a great player playing a great game. Can't ask for much more than that.
So a lot of people, there's conspiracy theories flying because watching you, here's some actual stats. Over your run, 32 wins, 33 shows, 1,160 correct answers to 36 incorrect responses. Your touchdown to turnover ratio is legendary. So whenever somebody sees you stumble or lose, you can see how a lot of us go, well, there's no way that guy would lose just by losing. Like something had to be up. I'm assuming you heard about a lot of these conspiracy theories?
Oh, yeah, they're all great. If I'm going to throw a game, am I going to do it in a game where I get no questions correct? And, it's all very silly. But, your listeners are sports fans. Sports fans know upsets happen, right? Buster Douglas happens. The 08 New York Giants happen. These, no team wins forever, and streaks happen. But, really, if you look back at the streak, I played great, of course, but there were so many games where one break could have gone against me, and that cost me the game. And, nothing really went my way this time.
Andy Ruiz Jr. knocked out Anthony Joshua on Saturday night, okay? Everybody's like, upset of the century. This guy knocks out Anthony Joshua. Then on Monday, a librarian takes out James Holzhauer. The world was just hit with a two-piece of upsets that they could have never expected in history. You have to understand that. What's next for you?
I guess no one can blame you for the McAfee curse since this episode was already in the can. But,
That's right. That is right.
James, I wasn't going to try to ask you about that. I was just going to kind of let that fly. But I am very thankful that you came out, got ahead of that for me, and said that this was no way my fault at all for you losing that game.
You want to repeat that just in case anyone didn't hear it?
I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. That's making me feel a lot better about my thoughts on things now. I can continue back running with and betting on myself heavily because, goddamn, this McAfee curse was a real thing for a long time, James. It was a real thing. I was starting to get to the Drake records, but we've turned it around now. We've turned it around, which I'm pretty excited about. Speaking of turning things around.
See, that Drake thing was just a joke. He didn't actually show up to Jeopardy. I actually talked to you. So.
Wait, James, I don't need you flip-flopping like that, man. I don't need you. Your Twitter game has gotten incredible, by the way. I very much have enjoyed what you've been doing. Have you been enjoying the social media life and becoming a little bit of a famous man now on the internet?
Yeah, it has been better than I thought it would be, I would say. I mean, still time for the other shoe to drop, but no, it's going good.
You're funny on there too. Very clever man. I think that's not something that everybody has. I think you should sit back and enjoy the shit out of the social media run you're going to have.
Well, hey, I know a guy who transitioned into a second career as a media personality and stand-up comic. Maybe I'll take some tips from him.
Now we're talking. I can write you a bunch of notes. What are you going to do next? What's up? I know you got a couple $1 million coming to you in the next 4 months, allegedly, your exact quote. They said they're going to expedite it for you, which is awesome because you've done so much for the show. But what is next? Are you going to take some time off? Are you going to be getting prepared for the big fall football season so you can go take down some more sports books? What is the plan for James Holzhauer?
Well, good news for my bankroll. They actually paid me this week just so they could get some publicity shots of me receiving the check. So,
was it a big check?
Was it a big check? Yeah. Did they give you a briefcase? What was it?
Yeah, it was a whole briefcase. I've no comment on how money gets passed around in Vegas, but no, it was one big check.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm excited for you and your family to get to enjoy your brain's treasures a little bit. What are you going to get into next? Are you going to take some time off? Are you going to get back into the gambling? Got a big game 3 coming up tonight. NBA Finals, NHL, Stanley Cup Finals happening right now. Are you going to go dip your toes in that water now that you have a little bit larger bank account to be playing with some fun coupons? What's the plan for James Holzhauer?
For now, I'm still comfortable taking some time off work. I think maybe even until football season rolls around. There's, other than baseball, there's not a lot to bet on right now, and I'm rather enjoying taking it easy. There's been a lot of media requests this week that I had to sift through, and I kind of had to tell him I'm already seeing someone. He's a punter.
I appreciate you doing that.
No, but I would say plan A is just to resume gambling as normal in the fall. But there's some really, really interesting stuff coming into the inbox now. So I'd be a fool not to at least consider stuff. People talk about me going to another game show. Jeopardy still owns my rights until the Tournament of Champions that I'm on finishes airing, and I think maybe even for a while beyond that. So it could be a while on that. But if you wouldn't be too surprised to see me on TV or on a website, sports related in some capacity.
Action Network swinging for the fences with you. I've already put 2 and 2 together there. You don't have to say anything. Pat McAfee says that's not James Holzhauer saying anything. That's so intriguing to me that Jeopardy owns your rights, because when you go on America's Got Talent, they own your rights. American Idol, they own your rights. The Voice, the same type of thing. It's intriguing to think that Jeopardy knows that a potential James Holzhauer can come, and they don't just want you just to go pivot to another place and make money off it. Is that kind of what the Jeopardy rights thing is? You can't go play trivia nights at restaurants right now, or what are the rules there?
I don't think it extends quite that far. What I think is funny though is that the rules seem to only be written for trivia show contestants. So I can't go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I asked them, hey, can I go run on American Ninja Warrior? Can I go receive a championship belt on a pro wrestling show if they invite me to do that? And they said yes to both of those. So it's only I think they've never fielded these questions before.
Okay, so anything I don't have to use my brain for. Got it. All right, you got it. Tournament of Champions. You got to feel pretty good going into that. Is that all the OGs of Jeopardy? Ken will be there and all of them will be there, and it's finally your time to prove where you rank amongst all the other contestants? Or are you just excited to kind of meet them all, chat with them all, and kind of up your trivia knowledge a bit?
They haven't told me anything yet, but what I would expect is it'll just be the normal Tournament of Champions where they invite the 15 best contestants from the past couple of years. And then if they decide they need to do some kind of super tournament with me facing Ken or whoever, then that would, I think, be a separate deal. But, not a whole lot of information has come in yet. I can't spoil anything for you. Sorry.
Well, we do know you were very good at the act of not telling anybody anything, because that last show, I thought you were on for at least another 4 months, honestly, after talking to you the last time. Also in that last show, I learned what Watson was. I had no idea what a Watson was.
That was great.
James. You said, though, that they swiped Watson a little bit clean, so he or she, I guess, doesn't know everything anymore. So is the ultimate Jeopardy battle now you and Ken? Is that what everybody is looking forward to? Is that the heavyweight fight? Is that what literally everybody's looking forward to in the trivia world?
Yeah, I guess you would say so. I think it's funny, though, is the leading money winner on Jeopardy is not me or Ken. It's a guy named Brad Rutter, who's won, I think it's 5 super tournaments they put him in, and he's never lost to anyone except Watson, the computer. So, the obvious play would be to have just me facing Brad and Ken for, I don't know what kind of prize pool or whatever, but maybe they want to spin it into a bigger thing. Who knows? I don't produce TV shows. They might have grander plans than that.
James, maybe you, Ken, and that other guy that has the most money, $5 million prize to the winner, $3 million prize to the second place, and then like a nice $1.5 million to the third place, just to say thanks to you guys. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us would probably do it for a tenth of that money, but if they want to add another zero on the end, I'm not going to complain.
Well, James, I appreciate you, man. Whenever I saw you lose, I was legitimately heartbroken. A part of my nights that I've become so accustomed to was about to change. Although Emma's great, I think she's probably going to have a good run. I am very excited to see what you do next, especially with the way the sports gambling media is starting to come in so strong, and you're one of the faces of it. I can't wait to see what you do next.
I guess it was hard for me to hold in the secret one time when I kept meeting people around town who would shake my hand and say, "Oh, thank you. Thanks to Jeopardy and you, I finally have something to talk about with my wife over dinner." Or finally, when I talk to my mom over dinner, I got something to chat about. And I'm like, "Oh, man, 1 week from now, you're going to have to start asking how her day was."
It is a nice distraction, man. Just watch the smart guy on the far left up here of these three. He's just going to answer every fucking question. Did you know this 1,160 correct clues to 36 incorrect clues stat before I read it to you today?
I can't say I knew the exact numbers, but I figured they'd be in that ballpark, sure.
Do you remember, though, do you remember which wrong answer made you most mad?
Good question. I guess when I missed a question about the Babe Ruth category, they asked about what player leadership position he had, and I just spat out manager, and I should have known he was never a manager. I'm very familiar with his career, but it was captain instead. It makes a lot more sense, but you got to put everything past you and just move on.
Short-term memory. I respect that a lot. Was there plenty of answers you clicked the button and you knew that you would just be able to figure it out by the time allotted to you, or did you know the answer while you were clicking the button?
I tried not to do that. It was, in my mind, if I couldn't figure it out in the time it takes them to read the question, there's a decent chance I'm not going to figure it out in the next 5 seconds. Now, they do have sometimes a really quick clue that takes a few seconds to puzzle out, and I think maybe once or twice I buzzed in on those on spec, but it was not a normal part of my strategy.
Huh. I assumed everybody did that.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Because normally, the ones that I get right, I normally don't get right until the end of said allotted time. So in my head, I would assume people would just be like, "Yeah, I can figure what is fuck." I honestly thought that's the way it was, and apparently it wasn't. It's good for you, James. You really took over the world there for a while. And Go ahead.
The end of the allotted time. In other words, after the contestant has given the response. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, James. That is exactly what I'm saying. Hey, what is your most fond thing about Jeopardy now that you've done it? Like, from being a fan to doing it, and you're like, they say never meet your idols, but getting to experience your favorite show. Like, what was the thing you were like, you know what, that was awesome that they did that?
I think one thing I really like is that the producers encourage you to inject a little of your personality into it. Now, I will say, I had about 10 discussions with the lawyers on set about how, just pushing an imaginary stack of chips into the middle of the table does not actually mean I'm committing to betting all my money or waving my hand and saying, you know what to do is not legally sufficient. We had a lot of talks. Oh, they didn't like me singing song lyrics either, because apparently they have to pay royalties if I do that. We had talked about that. They, I don't know if you know this, there's now a rule that you're not allowed to say hi to anyone in your Final Jeopardy response. That's also known as the James rule.
Yeah, nice.
I was wondering, because you say you give your answer, what is, and then you do it, and then in parentheses, hi. I was like, I'm surprised none of the sticklers were like, well, that's not the right answer. I'm surprised you didn't get called out for that earlier. I'm happy that they didn't make a problem. They just adjusted. That's good news.
I also had a run of 3 episodes where I started drawing some pro sports team logos into my name, and they didn't have a problem with it because they didn't understand what was going on. But when I brought it to their attention, they immediately made a rule that was not allowed anymore.
2 rules. This fucking guy. Can we get some categories this guy can lose in? Oh, that's awesome. Will you keep in contact with anybody from Jeopardy?
Yeah, well, I mean, the run just ended. They've certainly been in contact with me a lot about various stuff, media opportunities, making sure that I'm keeping the lid on everything, things like that. I don't know how it's going to be going forward. You're not supposed to have too public of a relationship with anyone who works at the show, because the quiz show scandals back in the day, everything has to appear above board now. But, they're very good people. I wish I could be friends with them offset, but I don't think it's possible.
Well, especially before that Tournament of Champions, we got to go in there and saw down those other 2 nerds, James. Go in there and murder that thing. Yeah. Champion of all champions means a lot. You didn't get bored, huh? A lot of people were speculating you got bored with it.
No, I mean, first of all, the money is just too good to possibly turn down. But no, it's a game. It's fun time. Even if you look like you're not having fun up there, the producers come out and pep you up. They're very good. It's making sure everyone has a good time up there.
All right, good. That's good news. Well, I can't wait to watch you win the Champions Tournament. Beat the hell out of that one guy in Ken. What's his name? Brad?
Brad Rutter.
Where is he? Dead? Is he alive?
Yeah, he lives in L.A.
How come
he's alive?
How come this guy's never talked about?
I wonder. I wonder if it must be hard for him to hear Ken's name in the media all the time. So he played back in the days when you could only win 5 episodes, and then he got retired. And he has won the tournaments, but I don't think he was ever appointment television the way Ken was. So maybe his name just never became as big a deal that way.
The Rudder, dog. I'm with him. All right, James, I can't thank you enough for making time for us. You're a very busy and important human being. I appreciate what you did for my life there for those 32 wins. I think the world does as well. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you. Next time, try to challenge me to a less messy cancer charity event, please.
Hey, look at you taking a stand there, or a seat, I guess, for pediatric.
Yeah, I challenged Ken Jennings to crack an egg. He hasn't done it yet. So.
Wow. Ooh. And that's why Jeopardy James is America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
That is why, right there. Because you're smarter than everybody, nicer than everybody, and your wife seemed to enjoy cracking that egg over your head very, very much.
Very much.
Oh my God, yeah. What's funny is that she actually thought, "Oh, this is too messy of a thing. I don't want it done in my house." And then it kind of gradually dawned on her, "Wait a minute, I could be the one smashing this egg."
That's the hashtag Crack Cancer Challenge that's going around right now to raise funds and awareness for pediatric cancer, I believe through Willie's Foundation or Willie's Fund in Connecticut, which is awesome. James participated in it with his genius wife that we have learned was on
Millionaire, right?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is that right, James?
Yes, that's right.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So you two just do trivia stuff with each other at the house? Like is she, like, how does this work now? Because she had the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire run there. You were on the chase. You did well, but nothing can compare to this Jeopardy stint. Is she going to be the next one to go on Jeopardy?
Oh my God, I can't tell you how quickly my wife is going to shut off all trivia game shows in the house for a while now that I'm done with Jeopardy.
All right, James, I appreciate you, man. Take care. Good luck with everything. Can't wait to see what you do next.
All right, thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Holzhauer. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Pat. It's a pleasure.